Kevin of 10 years ago were to suddenly walk in this room right now and see present Kevin up here talking to you, and to know what this present Kevin does for a living, he would lose his mind. No way would I be able to look somebody in their eyes, stand up in front, and talk to people. Much less on the street, much less in Toastmasters doing a speech. No way would I be able to look at somebody as they're grieving and talk to them and be with them and empathize in that way, because I've never done that before in my life. It was an amazing transformation that happened to me like over 2, maybe 3 years. I'm going to share just one part of that, specifically about vulnerability. The importance of vulnerability and what it means for you. So I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to leave you guys with some homework, because I do a lot of homework, and you guys didn't know you were getting homework assignments today. Who here enjoys being vulnerable? Right. God, that's more than I thought that it would be. Like when you wake up on a Saturday afternoon, like, I'm going to spend this entire day just being vulnerable. Does anybody think vulnerability can be a strength? I've been thinking about that a lot too, because it's a skill that we really need to develop, and we have. Vulnerability is part of a basic human need. It's something that I believe that we all need. We use it to learn how to trust one another, to be honest with ourselves, to learn how to live in a community and be supported by that community when we fall. And so this is very new to me, and once I started being vulnerable, it sort of changed a lot of things about me. One, I found out that I liked it. It's very comfortable for me to be vulnerable because I'm naturally awkward. But better than that, I've had the most profound relationships that I've had in my whole life once I opened myself up to other people, to talk to them, to share what's on my mind, and to listen to what they have to say too. And we're never really more alive than when we're vulnerable. You might be surprised what other people are going to say back to you when you start being vulnerable, when you go out and you take that first step and you tell your friend that you love them, that you care so much about them, and all the things that they've done for you in your life. And so I've come loaded with 3 nifty little tricks that I'm going to share with you. Number 1, no one's good at being vulnerable. It's a skill that comes naturally to no one. I guess it comes naturally to me because I'm just goofy and bumbling most of the time. And would you embrace that? Number 2 is you cannot wait for the perfect time. It would never be a perfect time. 10 minutes from now, you're going to be just as awkward about being vulnerable as you are right now. And so my rule has been to just go first, just to get it out of the way first. Because when you do go first, it allows other people, it makes it so other people can easily share with you, because you've already broken that ice. You've already exposed yourself. And suddenly they feel more natural, more inclined to talk and to open up in new ways. And 3, don't wait until you have the perfect words. You guys ever see one of those movies where you have your 2 heroes and they're fighting all the way through the movie and on the same side, but one of them toward the end of the movie, after all of this grueling battles, is wounded, and he's like, you gotta go, you gotta leave me behind. and the 2 heroes just have this thing where they look at each other and you see all that emotion in the air, and you're like, I ain't got the words. That's pretty apt, because none of us really have the words. Nobody ain't got the words. And as a society, we don't have the words in general because we don't talk about it. And so we're not used to it. We're not used to being vulnerable. We're not used to being out there. And the best way that I've found to overcome that is just to bumblefuck my way through it. There's nothing you're gonna do that's gonna make it any less awkward, any less vulnerable. And so you just do it. So it becomes like that first domino that falls, right? You fall into someone else. And it makes it that much easier for them to go. When you have these thoughts and these moments in your life with the people that you know and love, I would say to take advantage of them. To tell them how you feel. Like, do it then. Once you have the courage and I guess faith that you're not going to be left out to dry, it becomes a bastion of hope for other people who are not used to it. So your homework, like I promised. I want you to think of something that someone did for you, a friend. Something that really mattered to you. Now this should be something that you have not previously thanked them for, because your goal is to tell them how much that meant to them. Because they probably don't even know or remember. It could be something small. Like, oh, I'm sorry about you look like you're having a bad day. Here's a coffee. Or something very small that just impacted you. Your homework is to tell someone that. To make that difference. To just be vulnerable with them and just see where that goes from there. Because to recap, no one's good at it. Be vulnerable first, and no one ain't got the words. Thank you.